Okay, so I'm about to release one of the videos here, as you'll see after this little blurb. Kind of ran into a little bit of technical difficulties, storage issue. Um, kind of funny, just one of those growing pains things. So I believe the audio should be good, but the frame rate's probably going to be awful. But just wanted to preface this. I fixed the issue, so I think we should be fine going forward. But yeah, like, I hope you enjoy. I hope it's a fun experience for you to learn and kind of level. You know, the beauty of it is it's not so much the gameplay as much as it is kind of the conversations. Obviously, it'd be nice to be able to see a full video and with the correct frame rate. But yeah, I hope you enjoy it. I thought I'd release it anyways, just so we could kind of see the journey, the growing pains along the way. But yeah, you know, obviously, we'll see you in the next one when it's a little bit better frame rate. I'll try to end up releasing one soon, within a day, if that. But yeah, I just wanted to preface it, you know, as we continue through the journey. Anyways, enjoy. Welcome back. It's episode 3 of the Night Elf Hunter leveling journey. So, last episode we kept pushing through the early zones, continuing the grind, while talking about the way the early boring levels are actually where the foundation gets built. So, kind of to recap, we reached level 6, I believe, and got a few leather upgrades. We obviously learned the steady shot right over here. This is number 2. Our second ability. It was tough. It was very tough getting those bird feathers. The feathers were not easy. So the goal today is to kind of push further through, you know, kind of do all the quests around Dalinar. Obviously train new abilities. Kind of work on the little hunter rotation as we get a few more skills. Work on using the pet better, obviously, as the mob starts scaling up. We obviously want to continue to pick up the flight pass if we can, which reminds me that will be right here. Might have already gotten it though.
What brings you here?
And
May the stars guide you.
yeah, we'll sell junk. We'll manage some bags, and we'll start thinking about professions here on in this juncture. So let's first go to someone who can buy my stuff. There's the cat with the sound. Get a little closer. So I do have 9 silver, so I got a little bit of stuff. Back bill. Like me, I don't really need too much health right now. Just get a nice little thing of cash here. Spider hair, thistlewood, woollen tunic. Reduce. I don't really need that. Okay, so we got about 5 gold there. Okay. So, kind of at this point, it's not about rushing. It's kind of about getting cleaner, learning the rhythm, and building momentum. So a lot of this is kind of getting to the juncture where we're learning how to level. We're getting a good understanding and a foundation of kind of this character, you know, what its pros are, what its cons are, but being consistent throughout the way. You know, kind of the main points is leveling obviously can be slow, can kind of be a little bit difficult to start out, kind of learning a new area, learning a new class, everything, and you know, it's kind of like investing. Investing's very slow, you know, like we talked about in the previous episode. There's a lot of instances where you won't really see those gains early on, at least to the extent as what you'll see down the road. But yeah, I mean, I think a lot of it is ultimately kind of what you make of the journey and progress and develop. You know, it's funny, I just got back from the gym and there was a bit of a thought process in my head where, you know, when I first started working out, I must have been about, I don't know, about 13 or 14. And, you know, I definitely remember learning early on that, you know, the range of motion and kind of the slow weights, and kind of getting a good sense of it, just getting your bearings. And then ultimately, as you progress, as you move on, the results start to compound, and it's kind of a lot of areas in life, where if you just develop it, you grow, you just try to get better, ultimately things will come your way. You know, it's tough because most people quit before the progress becomes obvious, and like anything, it becomes difficult. It's a real challenge a lot of the times. But ultimately, if you keep the path and you keep steady, you'll start to progress. You'll start to see it. But it's obviously a challenge. It's never easy, that's for sure. But you do learn things along the way that you wouldn't otherwise have picked up had you not challenged yourself and tried to grow and develop. So as we kind of make our way through Teldrassil, obviously, as you can see, the BOA is really, really helping. It's making it very seamless. It's honestly been kind of a breeze with the BOA. It will get harder, obviously. Again, I don't have like a full set of BOA with the guild gear and all that stuff. I didn't really want to do that, to be honest with you. I just wanted to make it a little bit more seamless, that, you know, anybody picking up the game could kind of get a sense, you know, at the development, where if you stick with a character and you end up getting to level 90, the next time through gets a little bit easier. And it's just that kind of understanding where if you continue to learn, grow, and develop, you kind of just get a better sense of, you know, certain things that if you stick with it, it does get easier. That was kind of my main point. But, so I have to get some fell cones, and I have to get an emerald dream catcher. Looks like something's over here. I thought there would be more quests about killing these guys, but maybe that's later. I remember that being a thing earlier on. 160 is crazy.
I just have a target.
But yeah, I mean, as we continue, you know, I think one of the things that I kind of want to make clear is the early game feels slow when you don't have all the tools yet. As I try to... There we go. But money's the same way. You know, at first saving like $25, $50 or investing $100 doesn't feel like much. But the habits definitely matter more than the number earlier on. Again, it's kind of setting the framework for, you know, what you can see down the road. And, you know, ultimately, it's, you know, it's a journey of life. It's not, a lot of these things in life overlap, you know, like we talked about with investing, fitness, saving money, and leveling the WoW character. You know, there's a lot of parallels, you know, in life that if you continue to kind of look to see if you can connect the dots as you get older, ultimately that kind of becomes, you know, more of what the reality is of things. And you know, you can still learn a lot and grow at any stage in your life, really. I think this is the first time you're fighting two mobs at once. It's been pretty easy so far. There's a Falcon up there. I don't want this chest though, I'm not gonna lie. Silverbound, fine scimitar, interesting. That might sell for something. So if I had a flying mount, which I would do on the warrior, obviously not on a level 7, but be a little easier to track here. But yeah, obviously it's been pretty smooth so far, but slow. I mean, it's steady, it's slow. So we're gonna start turning in these quests. We're gonna keep killing the mobs, seeing if we can level up as fast as we can. Definitely think it was a good idea getting the BOA. Makes it seamless. I can just chat with you guys and not have to worry about, you know, taking on 2 mobs being a big deal and whatnot. So let's say there's a quest we can turn in up here. Hopefully it's to kill some of these gnarl pines. I wouldn't mind kind of getting a good understanding of, you know, keeping the distance and, but so kind of a few things about the hunter class that, you know, I'm sure a lot of you guys know if you play this game often, but you kind of want to let the pet take aggro. You kind of want to get the mob to focus on the cat before you end up kind of attacking. And obviously it's easy now where everything has been pretty seamless so far. I probably only got hit like 10 times, but that guy's not doing great. But so, and it's also like the name of the game with the hunter, and whether it's training or once we get to 90 and, you know, doing PvP, it's really about keeping distance from enemies. That is the critical component of the hunter class. And we'll obviously learn a few skills about it, but you really want to keep that distance, because if you're like, even in the sense where if you're fighting a caster, like some sort of mage or warlock, whatnot, you kind of want to keep the distance and see if you can focus on their line of sight. Obviously with melee fighters, which is most of the mobs here, and, you know, the warriors, like if I was fighting my warrior, you really want to keep as much distance as possible. And we're going to learn a new skill, I believe, coming up, which will slow down enemies. And it's gonna start snowballing. You'll start to see the snowball a little bit as we kind of get into the deeper part of this questing area. But I've always liked the hunter. I've always felt it was amazing. Each class in and of itself does have a skill cap, and I do believe, for me personally, the hunter and the warrior are, well, first of all, the hunter's the natural progression you know, next to a warrior, where instead of maintaining close distance like you would a warrior, the hunter is a lot more keep the distance, exact opposite. Oh, not exact opposite, but a slightly an opposite form of the combat scheme. You know, if you guys ever want down the road, if this goes well, you can always make another class, and as we learn, concussive shot. But yeah, I mean, I think you learn a lot of different aspects about keeping distance and, you know, kind of vying for your shot. And a lot of it with hunter is surviving.
Hello.
A lot of it's the focus on just okay, now we get to kill some people. Let's go. So we got a lot of quests here. I'm excited. So I haven't really explored Teldrassil since, I don't even know, maybe like 2015. Maybe it's been 10 years. It looks the same. Graphics are still ridiculous. I find it so cool. So I guess we'll start with the lower level quests. But as we move on to level 8 now, you start to see the progression. Obviously our gear's improving with this BOA. And I know earlier in the first episode I talked about only getting the chest, the shoulders, and the bow. But I think the trinket's going to help us really here very well, especially for leveling. I mean, healing 2% of your maximum health whenever you kill someone. I mean, we're going to get more heals than we're going to be damaged done to us for a while. But it's a very, very useful skill to be able to maximize one character in World of Warcraft, because then you kind of get to a stage where you can ultimately progress faster. You know, like, prime example, not for nothing, like, not a huge relation, but if you grow up, you build the right skills as you get older, you can kind of pass down that mentality to your kids, and in a way, the knowledge itself is like the BOA. And if you kind of develop those skills, and, you know, eventually if that's your prerogative, you decide to have kids, then you can kind of teach all the knowledge and skills you have to them that they can learn at an even younger age and continue to accelerate the learning process. Oh, and we got our first elite here. Interesting. Still pretty easy. 11. Wow. We got a bag. Nice. It's a gray lumberjack axe, but still, we'll take it. So now these guys are green mobs. We're definitely cooking. We're leveling fast. And I'm excited to have concussive shot. I think that's going to help us a lot. But really, it's just been arcane. I haven't really had to have too much of a need for concussive shot yet. I mean, as we get into this stage here, where it seems like there's a lot of mobs, we'll try to clear them all out, because it's pretty fun. Just kind of get a good sense of, you know, what the class is like. But obviously, it's been pretty seamless so far. Yeah, I mean, you know, again, it goes back to pulling mobs is taking a lot of risk. Like, obviously, with the BOA, it's a little bit easier. I'd say a lot easier, but if I were to go in, right, I know I go back to the Harpy example. If there was like a bunch of, like 15 of these mobs stacked up, like sometimes you put so much risk on yourself that it's just not even viable. And you just want to be mindful of all the things, well, of the risk you're taking on, and there's not really a crazy need to take on all the risk all the time. But as we go and kill this guy, we get his jewel. So I'm gonna just continue. I don't think I have to kill any of these guys. Might have completed that quest as well. So we're just gonna keep on moving, keep on progressing, and we're definitely inching closer to that level 10. So just kind of a backstory here. Created this channel a few days ago. You know, I have a really interest in playing this game, and you know, a lot of the times when you're in a server like this, you don't get really the chance to talk to a lot of people. So, you know, if you guys want to leave a comment and, you know, certain tips, if you guys have ever leveled a hunter and, you know, what your perspective's on, you know, I'd love to hear it. Obviously, if you like the video, it really helps me reach other people and kind of spread the knowledge, you know, that we'll continue to unpack, you know, as we progress in this character. So far, early thoughts on the hunter. I really love this character. I think it's a great character. It's very seamless. Having the pet is huge. Huge. I think we'll do a little bit of a, I won't send a poll, but if you want to leave a comment on, you know, maybe what to name the pet, and or if you guys think there's a specific pet that would benefit me leveling, maybe more of a tankier pet, maybe something just pure DPS. You know, I'd love to hear your thoughts. I'd love to hear your thoughts and comments. So feel free to, you know, reply. You know, try to get back to it as soon as I can. But yeah, I just want to make this a fun adventure. I want to keep it light. You know, I think that so much of investing is, they just try to make it so complicated, when in reality, if you work together and you just understand the knowledge, you're just going to learn so much more than you otherwise would, than if you did it alone. So now as we get to level 9, we are absolutely doing very well. So I believe that's a quest in Dalaran, I believe. Darnassus. I think it's Darnassus. Darnassus is the city, that little... Yeah, Darnassus. So we're going to keep moving. Keep on moving. We're going to go up here. So this is Fell Rock and Melanus. Everything looks pretty similar to how I remember it. It's just amazing, the graphics that this came out in. God knows, maybe... I don't know, I think World of Warcraft came out like 2004. So, a long time ago, and still, it's an incredible game. You know, just kind of the fantasy realm of it, and whoever had the imagination and creativity to do this, I mean, not for nothing, the reason why you invest in stocks, the reason why you buy into companies is there are visionaries. There are people who have a very, very good sense of the future and, you know, how things can develop. And when you're investing your money, when you're buying a stock, you know, I'm not going to recommend individual stocks, especially if you're first starting out. Always nice to maybe have 10% of your portfolio to kind of have those fun bets. But, you know, I think that when there's people like people who create WoW, you know, you want to get in on that, get in on the development and you know, eventually the ideas and the application, and just getting yourself a foot in the door like that is absolutely huge. And I really would recommend it because just the nature in what we find ourselves in this economy, in the stock market, it's been doing very well. I mean, portfolio-wise, percentage-wise, it's been great. Even if you've just bought and held, excuse me, even if you've just bought and held, you know, the S&P 500, and, you know, everyone's a genius in a bull market, but, you know, I think that, you know, kind of getting to that spot where, if I didn't have BO, I'd just be crazy, but just getting yourself into that spot where you can start seeing development, you know, the good side of another elite. So this is the beauty of being in a place like this, is you're gonna get so much extra XP because there's just elites everywhere. And now we've gotten our last bag, so we have a decent amount of space, which is awesome. But kind of going back to what I was saying, there's a lot of opportunity in the markets, and does this cave go deeper? No. Okay. So where are these fell rock? I don't want to jump down quite yet, but something tells me fell rock relics. Okay, we'll figure it out. Okay, that doesn't kill me. That's the most damage I think I've ever had. But the beauty of being a low level is you regenerate. You know, it's funny. There's so many parallels. Like being a kid, like just being able to bounce back and kind of get that frame of mind where, you know, there's ultimately a lot of things you benefit from by just being a kid. You know, just being able to bounce back, being able to learn, being able to process. You know, there's a lot of things that you can learn, but kind of as we continue, we're gonna try to find this cave, find these gremlins. It looks like we can also go over here. I'm trying to, but this is kind of the adventure of it. You get to check out the new spots, and you know. So I guess we'll go in the cave. Let me see here. Just expand the map. Glad. To the north, the Fell Rock. Emptions, the iron seeds. Okay, so they're up here. Nice. I kind of want to keep. I really want to find this place. But as we continue, as you can see, the levels are. It's very seamless. Like the hunter is arguably one of the best leveling classes there is, if not the best class. And you know, as you'll see, having the pet is going to be incremental. You know, taking on multiple mobs, getting a good framework for, you know, how we can grow, how we can develop this character. And, you know, I'm not the most click-intensive kind of person, so I'm going to start going more towards, here, let me figure out this. So we found the cave. It's a 1 second cooldown. This is very, I like this. This would be perfect, kind of like you just start out. It's a great quest for just I missed it. Let's go right here. That's a hit.
Target.
And this guy looks like he's gonna do a shadow bolt on my. I assume I have to do this. Across the class. 207. That's our first 200, I think. But yeah, the Hunter's great. Night Elf is great. I've always admired the graphics on this game and how they make these characters, kind of bring them to life. They do a good job. It's excellent. It's an excellent game, and a lot of parallels to life, which was one of the reasons why I said, hey, you know, let's think about making a channel about this.
I need a target.
But you know, it's something unique. It's something a little different. I think that kind of as we progress, you know, we'll start seeing a lot of more development. You know, if there's anything specific you want me to talk about as far as investing, let me know. Just let me know. I think the nature of getting from level 1 to 90 will take some time, so I'm sure by the end of it we'll have covered a great bit. I don't know what that is. Hold on. So I already have 11. Wow, it's leveling fast, man.
I don't have a target.
Oh, so another elite. Holy, this guy's kind of strong. I say that, but and we got another pouch, so we're gonna replace that 4 pouch with a 6, and now we have all 6s, so we're moving along. So I have to also get Melanus's head, so I have to figure out. I don't think that's an entryway. So I think we're gonna go around here. Kind of just like we found that elite. Now they're level 7, so we're back at the yellow mobs, which is always good. More XP the better. But yeah, I mean, the beauty of the Hunter, especially early on, and really leveling any character, is there's not too many options you have. I mean, you just kind of got to kill the mobs, just go through it, and let this cat finish off that growl. So I'm learning with the Hunter too. I am very used to the Warrior. It's really the only character I played in WoW Classic. Probably have, I don't know, maybe 15 days of gameplay. So I don't know too much about the Hunter in Mist of Pandaria, that's for sure. I was told it's a very good class, easy to level. Seems like it's been pretty seamless, getting a lot of bags. But yeah, as we continue, looks like we've wrapped up that quest. Level 9 now, moving along right away. Our cat is doing well. Yeah, if you have any ideas on naming the cat, we already got A&A, the boy. He's a beast. Looks good. And yeah, so as we keep moving along here, we're going to we can turn in these quests, see if we get some more. But definitely, I'm glad I got the BOA because it's made it seamless. It's allowed me to talk a little bit more instead of kind of honing in on the, you know, the DPS itself. So we're gonna do some dungeon finders and things of that sort. Luckily, I'll probably be one of the more formidable lower levels on the dungeons. See if you could try to group along. If anyone's in Windseeker, if you really are, I mean, let me know. We'll queue up, start up a group. We'll have some fun. But either way, as we keep getting closer to level 10, now got Feral Blade and Bracers. Do not have any Bracers. And now we have Bracers. So no more new quests. So we're gonna go and do the Gnarl Pines. I remember getting absolutely lost in this next cave that we're going into, and you know, I remember dying, and then I remember literally not being able to find the cave itself. I mean, I was about maybe 9 years old, 10 years old, doing the free accounts, so I've done it many times at this point. I got Mark of the Wild already. Oh, that's cool. That's a nice upgrade. So I don't think in Mist of Pandaria, I think the skills are just given to you, so I might already have Mark of the Wild here. Maybe it was just the quest turn in. But I assume probably level 10 I'll get that, at least by level 15. But yeah, you know, I think the next component, you know, and I know I've kind of briefly mentioned it, but running out of bag space, I mean, that's kind of related to like an organizational skill. I think that kind of having that foresight and being prepared is a huge aspect. You know, like I talked briefly about bull markets, but in bear markets, if you don't have any money to invest, unfortunately, that's the time where you should invest. And you'll see things like the Fear of Greed Index, if you want to look into it. I think right now there's obviously a lot of metrics. Like there's the VIX, there's a few of them, but so another elite, isn't it crazy on the elites? So this is the first time I'm gonna use concussive shot in an actual useful scenario, but he's gonna go down pretty fast. And now looks like we now have our first piece of green gear that is outside our BOA. Looks like now we got an ability to obtain pets. So yeah, as we continue to progress through the zone, we're going to start the journey into... I'll have to see where we should go next. Ooh, Serpent Sting. Nice. Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. I'll move these around a little bit. I'm gonna just... hold on, I'm gonna give myself some space here so I don't click on it. So Serpent Sting's gonna help a lot. So I believe this is now the little cave that we're gonna go into, if I remember correctly, and it looks like it is. So this would be a pretty good kind of like a closer range dungeon, for lack of a better term. But the hunter is very, very intuitive, I feel, at least. And yeah, we're moving along, we're doing a good job. We're already level 10. Seems like, it's funny, it progresses faster as you start getting more skill, and you know, you're able to... gotta get a shaman voodoo charm, okay. I don't know where I got that from. So I'm just gonna knock down these mobs.
I don't have a target.
And it is a really, really, really good thing to have BOA. Cannot stress that enough. We can always do one from scratch next time, and it would be definitely a challenge, like if we did like a shaman, or I really want to kind of try a monk, or definitely go back to the druid. I think the druid was the first character I ever maxed. Did a little bounce druid, but as I've gotten better at the game, as I've gotten older, it would be a good test of abilities. So we got a rigid cape of the monkey, so I can't get that to level 14, so that's something to look forward to. And as we continue to quest through here, yeah, I mean, just getting a good sense of everything, learning the class, kind of getting the basics. very intuitive. I'm really appreciative of this. These guys are kind of just going down. Green Paw seems like somebody I'd want to kill for some reason. Maybe not. Maybe it's just this chest. Yes, it's this chest. Okay. So where is this Shaman Voodoo Charm? That's what my good question is. So we still need the Ravenclaw Talisman, Sapphire of the Sky, and the Shaman Voodoo Charm. So where is that? Just want to bring Gnarlpine Shaman. So it's probably just like a regular MoP. Yeah, here we go. Right on cue. Maybe we get on the first try. Alright, that's fine. Just be lucky. Be lucky, but
I don't have a target.
I guess fortunate is the better way to say it. Yeah, we got a little defender here. Kind of useless at this stage. We'll get some, and there we go. Beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. So I have to go up this staircase. I wonder if there's something over here too. And we got a Sentinel Huntress. Like we need any more help, but A&A's companion, our friend, Sentinel. So as we keep moving along, we are going to... and I also have to set the innkeeper to... Well, I mean, by the time I do that, I've turned in the last couple quests, it looks like, so... Maybe I don't even have to do that, but... so, this looks like the last little component here. It'd be nice to fight another elite, just get a new challenge. Don't really even need the... Is that anything? Okay, so I'm just gonna teleport. You know what? Let's just keep attacking stuff. Is it easy to get out of here? Yeah, it's pretty easy. So I'm a little torn on what we end up doing in the next zone. Obviously, we can do something like Westfall. Darkshore would be pretty cool. It is definitely an easier progression to do Westfall, because then we can try to do dead mines and whatnot. We could even try doing it ourselves and see if we run into anybody. Like if I had a healer, we just run through that dungeon. I'd assume. Because that's true. They probably have like, I don't know, maybe 800, 1200 health per elite, so maybe not, but I mean, if my arcane shots are doing 100, it wouldn't be too difficult.
I can't move.
I think it's up here.
I need a target.
And, yeah, cat's moving along. I think we're going the right way. Let's see, yeah, perfect.
I don't have
So I'm glad we didn't hearth out of here. Let's continue leveling, and, you know, obviously they're green mobs, so they're getting a lot easier. Hell, I could probably be level 1 and still probably be pretty easy, but that's going to change as we continue to level. It's going to get very difficult. And especially once we get into, oh boy. Do I have to turn that quest in? Oh boy, alright. So let me see. Seems like we have to turn that quest in. Okay. Alright. Good thing we checked. We didn't run all the way back. So we're going back in for a hot minute here. Just to turn in this quest. Just goes to show you I am far, far from perfect. But it looks like it's pretty close. I just saw it pop up on the map. So we're just gonna head right into here. We got one more shaman to take out here. God, for our pet. Oh, so what do we gotta do here? What's this? Rage Claw? Fallen Body Rage Claw. So he's just over here, I assume. Probably just have to fight one of these guys, I assume.
It's locked.
Alright, so not really much of a challenge. Do them first. Piece of spirit. Little druid kind of interface, I guess. Just a free little bit of XP. Honestly, had we not locked back in, we wouldn't have got extra half level that we're getting here. It's crazy. I need 6,700 XP. I remember leveling the warrior not too long ago, and it was not that easy. So these are all useless. Yeah, that was 1,300 XP. It's crazy. So now we keep moving along. Level 11 now. Our cat's very strong too. Let me know about the name. Figure something out funny. Otherwise, I will kind of brainstorm a little bit. So as we continue to move along, we are going to start moving in this direction. So what I kind of want to do, more of a cosmetic. Well, I do like the interface without the name, actually. Allows me to see everything a little better. It's crazy these guys are level 6. Such low levels.
It's too far away.
But that's kind of the beauty of just attacking mobs and gaining XP when you first start out. And even as you get later into the game, like, just by killing mobs, moving the bar, those small little investments in time do pay huge dividends. I'm just gonna keep walking. My cat's doing 50 damage. It's wild. Let that guy go. So we're gonna keep moving. We're gonna get a dream carrier, which might be an 8-slot bag. It is. Okay. I don't think I want a spider. That's for sure. Keep moving along, and just this landscape is insane. The music's insane, brings you back. And now this is a gray mob. Wow, time flies. So in about 30 minutes, we've gotten this far. So I think what we're gonna do is a little bit of recap. So I think a lot of it, you know, by training skills, is a bit of an investment in yourself. Whether it's education, certifications, just better habits, or learning finance basics, which is what we're going to do here. And we'll talk about all this stuff, I promise. And then grinding quests. It's boring, but it's productive work. It's very productive. You know, most success is repetitive. Absolutely.
Can I assist you?
Hello. What brings you here?
But yeah, one of the things, you know, I'll briefly talk about it. Like, a lot of the things is repetitive. Like, I was at the gym today, and, you know, I was kind of running into, I think I've already killed Ursol, but I was running into a little bit of a thought process where I'm watching this girl in the gym who's running, and, you know, I'm thinking, like, I see her all the time. Like, I see her all the time running. I see her outside, locally, and, you know, she's on the treadmill, and I'm thinking, like, oh boy, like, running is not an easy thing to do. For me, as far as mindset wise, it's a challenge, but just kind of seeing, like, that you're running in place on a treadmill and you're just continuing to do it, it seems like absurd from an outside perspective, but here are the sprites, so I gotta go further up. But a lot of it is, you know, kind of that attitude where you're doing the same stuff over and over again, and, you know, that stuff definitely forms a habit. Like, I've seen, even in myself, like, I'll go to the gym and whatnot, and, you know, lift weights, and I'll have similar exercises every time I'm there, similar workout routines, and, you know, it feels kind of strange when you first start, and it's like tiring and whatnot, and but ultimately, if you continue down that path and you do repetitive things, you form habits, and habit forms pathways in your brain, and then
What
ultimately
brings you here?
it starts to become a bit of a, almost easy in a way. Easy is not the right word, but something you can repeat day in and day out, and eventually develop those skills and those ways of thinking where you're not so concerned about,
Target.
hey, am I gonna be, I just had a tough workout. There's no way I'm gonna be able to do it tomorrow. But the beauty of it is just showing up the next day, even if you don't want to do it, and then just going to stretch, and then not even worrying about lifting weights, and just continuing to show up and get comfortable in those situations that do feel uncomfortable at the time. But that's ultimately kind of how you learn certain ways of thinking, certain forms of repetitive tasks that form good habits, and whether it's investing and whatnot, you definitely you benefit immensely from doing that. So as we kill Earl Saul, I don't think we need to loot him, but so we're gonna just roll down here, try not to take too much damage. Oh boy. We are alive still. This will probably be a no-death gameplay, at least until we start queuing for dungeons. But also, I do like the adventure. I don't know if we'll do dungeons a lot, per se. Maybe really just for gear for a little bit. I do love the questing in World of Warcraft. I think it's far better than most games. Like, I know there's other games like RuneScape, and you'll do quests, and the quests could take a day to be able to do, and you need this and you need that, and you need to worry about the ticks and this and that and whatnot. But World of Warcraft is so much more of a kind of like, it seems like you're truly helping out the whatever faction or whatever person needs help. The lore is insane. It's insane. I still don't know the full story with World of Warcraft, but I'm sure in retail it's probably just absolutely bonkers how, all the stuff that's going on. But yeah, I think that, as we kind of get back to Dalinar, just a couple questions for you guys. What was your first character back in the day? What's kind of your story behind it? And I guess another question for some of the more experienced players. Are you more of like a rush to max level player, or do you like taking your time, learning the class, developing, getting the professions up? Just curious. So we're gonna go in and turn in this quest. And we have battle pet trainers. I don't know if we'll do battle pet trainers. If you guys are interested, you definitely can. But we're gonna go in and turn this quest.
Greetings.
And that'll give us
A
a little bit. We're gonna go